to criminality, to people who commit crimes. Now there's all kinds of crimes. There's crimes against yourself. If after all God created you as a loving being, and you don't see yourself that way, and you punish yourself, it's a crime against yourself. You're dangerous to yourself. Or if you see other people as somehow or other dangerous to yourself, and they're not, it's just that you see it that way, and you attack another, be it verbally or physically, it's a crime. Or if you take part with a society in committing war out of the belief that others are indeed deserving of this, and in actuality you're killing other children of God just like yourself, because you've made up your mind that that's not who they are, it's a crime of participation in a herd of people who are all mentally ill from not recognizing who they themselves are and likewise who other people are. Crime. Why does it happen? The essential reason that it happens is because we believe, if it's committed against others, we believe that the other person doesn't love us. We feel we're unloving and we resent it. And we don't give a damn what we'll do to that other person. We're going to get them for all these lousy feelings against ourselves, and we will attack and we will commit crimes. Well, my own past background as a psychologist in the years when it was practiced was at a facility for the criminally insane, for those who were found mentally ill, not responsible for the crimes that they did. And I worked there for some 20 years. And for over 20 years now, as a continuation, I volunteer down at a local jail, also applying spiritual principles to those who come to the group because they're trying to be able to get their act together. Some 75 or 80% of them commit these crimes in order to get drugs. And why do they want to get drugs? Because it enables them to numb, to tranquilize the feelings of self-hatred and hatred of others that haunt them, and they can't get it turned off, and it frightens of them. So criminality, if we talk about it in terms of others, is the belief that the others deserve to be able to be dissed, to disrespect them, to hurt them. And it can take place under different kinds of circumstances. It can be some kind of a disrespect at you which makes you attack them, or they steal from you. They do something because they feel you don't give a damn about them, and so that justifies they're not giving a damn about you. And so it doesn't make any difference who you are. They just want something because they don't have it, and they will attack you in order to get it. But what it all comes down to, all criminality comes down to, is that the person feels threatened in terms of their own identity. They feel an annihilation. Something has been wiped out in them. Maybe they don't know that they have that feeling of annihilation. They only know that you're a threat to them. But it's a feeling of annihilation that they're protecting themselves against. Either psychological annihilation or physical annihilation. And they will attack. And it is criminal behavior if they do not recognize that they, a beloved child of God, is attacking another child of God for whatever reason it happens. Well, down at the jail where I work, I notice it's a small percentage of people who want to look at this aspect of criminality that will come to my group. Now, there are other groups there also that people will attend. when it comes down to being able to look at yourself and be able to see you're making a mistake and that your healing is to recover your own divine nature, a small percentage are ready for this. And yet, in order for God to heal his people who commit this aggressive kind of behavior, this criminality, it is required that God be able to help them to find the truth of who they actually are. And once they know that, and they feel about others the way they're now feeling about themselves, that we're loving and it's just lostness, criminality cuts down, cuts down. And I notice that there's a much smaller percentage of recidivism in the people who are troubled about criminality and how to deal with it and who look at it in a spiritual basis than who don't have this kind of an outlook. But it is required for God to be able to help somebody who uses this attacking behavior against others. It is required of God to be able to show them that there is another identity that they have. He must help, or she must help, that person to recover the awareness that within inside themselves is the one and only true identity, and that their viewpoint on criminality and who they are is based on a false belief of who they are. They have lost awareness of their self, and it brings a dangerous kind of behavior because they're uncaring now, only feeling their own suffering, which comes from their loss of sustenance, of a God who would help them. They feel that loss, they must substitute, and either they get depressed and hurt themselves in the process, or they get aggressive towards others to take what they feel they're entitled to, and other people are denying it to them, and they attack as a way of getting it. Same with wars. We are attacking others. Oh, well, we attack them because they're out to kill us, so why shouldn't we kill them? What did Jesus say about this? Why wasn't Jesus worried about being attacked? Because Jesus knew he was an eternal being and that there is no death. And part of healing criminality is for people to discover that there is no death. Nothing can destroy or annihilate their identity. Oh, sure, we can lose bodies. But when we lose a body and we are shown that our bodies are simply coverings for our soul in order to play the game in this world that bodies are real, when it is discovered, this loses its power over you. And what happens is that we are now able to face threats to our so-called life, but I call it really existence in this world because life is not of this world, life is of the kingdom of heaven. We are willing to surrender our existence in this world because when you know you are a child of God, you have just one interest for staying in this world, and that is to help others discover it also. It's such a joy to know that we are not who we think we are. We are not bodies. We are who we think we're not. We are divine beings, and nothing can threaten it, nothing can end it. And when that's built in to the so-called criminal or the criminal behavior, that's what stops it. Not prisons. We can produce facilities in which it is crucial for people to help to recovering their true identity. The prisons don't focus on this. It is not the answer. The answer is to help people know that they do not realize their true identity and to help them get there. And there is treatment that enables one to do that kind of a thing when that person is ready for it. That's what criminality comes down to. It's not that the person is evil. They do evil things. They do hurtful things. But it is because they have lost track of their sense of identity. And what they are doing is simply going on in a world of illusion. Because Jesus says, you're in this world, but you're not of it. If you're not of this world, this is a world of illusion, of made up, that there is a world which we are of. And when that is learned by people who do this kind of behavior, when they have this perspective of who they truly are and who they are not, healing takes place. It takes time. But in the years that I have been involved in this, I have watched people change over in their belief systems and become responsible. I hope that this is helpful to you for those who believe that criminality needs to be looked at, that I'm encouraging you to look at it sensibly, with a wisdom and an understanding about it, which calls for a different approach to it than a punishing approach against people who are really mentally ill. Because when you don't know who you are, be you criminal or not, that is mental illness. And criminality is simply a form of mental illness, of not knowing your true identity. Does it make sense to you? Do you hear this? I hope so. Thanks for listening and wanting to look in on this segment of Healing Aspirations. And we encourage you to go to our website where we write about this as well. Christian Laity Foundation, Laity, Christian Laity Foundation.org, and to see what's involved with healing. Bye-bye for now.